Hello. I'd like to quickly introduce myself, kind of explain a little bit of my background, and kind of a little bit overview of why I became an instructor or teacher. First of all, my name is Justin Malott. I am currently living in Tawnytown or Springdale, Arkansas. So I was born January 11th, 1989, in Albany, Georgia. This picture here you'll see is of me and my twin sister, Kristen. Uh, we were, my entire family lives in Georgia or is from Georgia. And so a majority of my aunts and uncles and cousins all still live down there in South Georgia. Uh, I am married. I have a wonderful wife and two children. My wife Courtney, who you'll see in several of these pictures, we've been married for 10 years, so going on 11 years. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary this past summer in Vegas. We spent a little bit of time, just kind of enjoyed ourselves away from the kids. We have a 7-year-old son named Braxton, who is in first grade, and a 2-year-old daughter, Elizabeth. This is just a few pictures of my family. This is my son Braxton and my daughter Elizabeth this past year with his art contest that made the district art show down in College Station, Texas. Like I said, me and my wife just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in Vegas, and so this was a picture from the Bellagio where we stayed. We do have two family pets. We have a Dachshund named Max. You'll see him in the picture of my daughter holding him. Then we have a Bichon named Maddie. Again, this is my wife, my son, and my daughter this past fall. It's me and my son at his art show. And then this is me and Braxton on our first day of school and / work of this year. First day as the Gravette Ag teacher in Gravette, Arkansas, and his first day as a first grader at Gravette Elementary School. So my family kind of continued, as I mentioned earlier. I have a twin sister named Kristen. It's pictured there with her. Two children. I have her son's name is Trevor, and my niece's name is Taylor. And then my brother, pictured there beside me in the pink, his name is Mitch, and that's his wife Katie. He is a few years older than me and my sister. My brother and my sister both now currently live in northern Alabama, where they both have kind of jobs that took them up that direction. Both my parents are still alive. They still continue to live in South Georgia. They're actually currently visiting. My mother retired from Farm Credit, where she worked for over 38 years, and my father retired from the DOT, where he worked for over 20 years. Prior for working for the state, my father farmed mostly cotton and peanuts. They also raised watermelons and cantaloupes in the summer down in Georgia. So this is one last picture. This was from several years ago on Thanksgiving down in Georgia at family's house. So my education background. I did graduate high school in 2007 from Turner County High School down in Turner County, Georgia. The name of the city was Ashburn, Georgia. It's a very small town of about 3,000, 3,500 people, probably at most. I was very active in agriculture and FFA through high school, did judging, livestock judging. So being kind of successful there, I received a full-ride scholarship to Hutchinson Community College there in Hutchinson, Kansas for livestock judging. During those 2 years there, I was able to compete on the collegiate team and travel probably over half the states in the country, judging, looking at cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs, and competing against all the other colleges in the country. After I finished my 2 years there, I transferred to the University of Arkansas, where I was also on their livestock judging team, and I graduated in 2011 with my bachelor's in animal science. U of A is also where I was fortunate enough to meet my wife, Courtney, and she is born and raised here in Springdale, so she's pretty close to the U of A, Fayetteville. I'm currently working on my master's here, the MAT program at the U of A Monticello. It's going really good, trying to get this knocked out just to really better my education and further my knowledge to be able to reach and become a better educator to students and hopefully change lives. So my professional life, after graduating college in 2011, I did work in a weld fabrication and metal shop. My wife's family owns a business here in Springdale called Chandler Equipment. So I worked as a welder and fabricator there while I was in college and for a year after I graduated while my wife finished her last year of college at the U of A. Once she finished, she wanted to kind of get away and try something different, so we moved down to my hometown in Georgia, and that's when I went to work for the Georgia Department of Agriculture. While I was at the Department of Agriculture, I initially started off in the Fuel and Measures Division where I was a fuel inspector. I would go around to the gas stations, inspect the quality of the fuel, the calibrations of the pumps, and did that for about a year. And then I got into the food safety side of inspection, which I did for the next 2 years. I inspected all the grocery stores, meat markets. I was the one that gave them their license, make sure they were in compliance, followed up on complaints and stuff like that. Really loved my job doing that. Got to interact with, people, get out in the communities. But back in 2015, my wife was kind of ready to move back to Arkansas. So in kind of that fall of 2015, we trekked back to Northwest Arkansas where I started my career in the poultry industry. When we moved back up here, I started working at Simmons Foods as a service technician or field technician. Worked there for a year and then ended up transferring over into George's Incorporated here in Springdale, which is where I was a field supervisor. Go out to the live production farms and work for that company. Did that for 3 years and then was recruited down by Sanderson Farms to Texas for a management position. So we picked up in 2019 and moved to College Station, Texas from Springdale, which was a big jump. My son was 4 years old at the time and my daughter was not born yet. We decided to chase that down there and see what it entailed. After working at Sanderson Farms for a little while, I enjoyed the poultry industry, but it wasn't really what I was passionate about. So my wife is a teacher. She's a special education teacher and has been. She worked in Springdale for 2 years as a special education teacher and 3 years down in Texas. So kind of having that education in my life with her and just kind of the passion I saw for her kind of always wanted to make me pursue teaching agriculture. So I had the opportunity to kind of transition over into teaching ag at A&M Consolidated High School down in College Station, and I taught for 2 years down there. The picture right here you'll see is 4 other teaching partners. We had a pretty large school of about 2,100 students, and we had 5 ag teachers there. We were growing and really doing well, so I learned a lot over those 2 years down there, and I really miss those guys. But not having any family in Texas, we were wanting to get back closer to family, so we decided to start looking back up in Northwest Arkansas, and we now both work in the Gravette School District, and I work at the Gravette High School where I'm teaching ag. It's been quite a change, though. Coming from Texas to Arkansas, it's a little different as far as the ag and FFA goes. Coming from a 5-teacher department back to being the only ag teacher at the school, it is definitely an added stress having to kind of pull all the weight instead of having that help. It's been difficult, but I've also enjoyed it. This picture right here is one I'm proud of. This is this past fall with my Gravette FFA officers. We actually were able to attend the National Convention, FFA National Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, and that was something I was very proud of. These kids worked really hard, and they've never had the opportunity, a lot of them, to even travel out of state. And so being able to take them to Indianapolis and experience a group of I think there was almost 80,000 FFA students from all over the country was really a blessing for me and those kids to get to enjoy. So in my free time, I like to really just spend time with my family. That's kind of what it revolves around, is them. We all enjoy being outdoors. Usually in the spring and summer we're doing some kind of fishing or going to the lake. Me and my son really love hunting, so in the fall we're usually on the weekends trying to deer hunt or whatever we can get our hands on. We also like to lounge around the pool and just kind of be outside, especially when it's nice and sunshine. Another big part of our life is our church family. We are members of New Hope Fellowship here in Springdale. It's a Baptist church. that we've been members of for quite some time, and the preacher there who passed away this past year, he actually married me and my wife, so it's a really big part of our family, and we were glad to get back to Northwest Arkansas and get back active in the church we love so much. It's just a few more pictures, like I said, of kind of our free time. I love spending time outdoors, fishing. This is me and my son hunting. Like I said, anytime we can get out, we love it. I don't mind the winter times, but I really am more of a spring and summer kind of person. I enjoy just the sunshine and being outside. I don't like being cooped up too much. So, it kind of gets down to why I teach and what impacts me, why I do what I do. The impact my ag teacher had on me is one of the main reasons I wanted to get into teaching. His name is Dennis Kendrick down in Georgia at Turner County High School, and he's still there teaching. He had a big part of my life through high school. He really kind of changed the trajectory of what I thought I would be doing. He introduced this kid who knew about agriculture, family farmed, into the world of livestock, like judging and FFA and what opportunities it could. And that really took me somewhere. I mean, not only getting to judge, compete in the state of Georgia, but get me a full-ride scholarship. I didn't come from a lot of money. My family worked really hard, but we didn't have a lot left over at the end of the week. So being able to get that opportunity to help pay for my college was really something that I'm not even sure if I could afford and been able to go to college the way I did if it wasn't for him helping push me and helping me get into judging to be able to earn that scholarship. And so that's really kind of the passion that drives me to help my students, because I want to build that relationship like he did with me. I still am friends with him. I still talk to him. I still call him for advice. And so really the thing I focus on more than anything in my last 2.5 years as an educator is really building that relationship with my students and trying to connect with them. I learned quickly at my first year down in Texas that if you can sit there and teach the best content and be the best instructor as far as book knowledge goes, but if you don't build that relationship and get these kids to really kind of buy into who you are and that you're just not another person to tell them what to do, but you're really there trying to help them, it really goes a long ways. Building that trust, building that relationship, knowing that you can kind of be that person that they connect to. And really, I teach agriculture, but some of my biggest impacts I felt like I've had with students, it really doesn't have anything to do with agriculture. It's just helping them find what makes them click, helping them find as a young person in high school trying to figure out their way of what they want to do, how they want to be. I feel like some days I teach young men and women and kids, just how to be young adults and how to be productive. And that's what's so great about teaching agriculture and animal science and ag mechanics is you get to work with your hands. You get to figure out what they like to do. Then you get to help them do it. And that's really why I teach what I teach. Agriculture's kind of a study that reaches all aspects, all cultures. It kind of affects everybody. And so being able to bridge those gaps between the different cultures, the different ethnicities, religions, people, their background, what they're into, is really what I enjoy. And it really is eye-opening, not only for me, but for the students. And, I hope to keep having that drive and, being able to reach these kids for years to come. Thank you.